My video is going to be about my writing process. So obviously the first part of writing is having the idea. I get my ideas from songs or they just kind of come to me in my dreams. I have a dream and I can turn it into a book. And then also I will just be doing something and then I get the idea. When I get the idea, I spend a couple days mulling it over in my head and just thinking about how I want it to play out. And then sometimes at work, I will take guess checks and write stuff down on them. So I have three right here. I'm sure there's more. I just don't know where they are because I lose them. But I just do that, and then eventually I will take these guess checks and transfer them into my notebook or a spreadsheet online. After a couple days of thinking about my idea, if it's a short story, I will put it into this binder, and it's an A5 binder with 6 rings that I got from Amazon. As you open it, I just have each short story kind of laid out into each of the different subsections in the story. And then if it is a longer story, then I will plan it on Google Sheets, which I will show now. Okay, with my longer ideas, I will plan them out on this spreadsheet. So this is one of my ideas right now. So obviously it's split up into different parts. I have character, part of view, setting, synopsis, main events, character moments, extra notes, and then as I write and print things out, I have draft 1 if it's been revised, and then draft 2. And so obviously I would just go through and type everything out, and then it gives me a clear plot line that I can then also print this spreadsheet out and put into my binder. Okay, this is Microsoft Word where I actually do all of my writing. And to set up each page, I have it set for the size to be A5, which is as close to a book as you can get. And then the margins are this. The text is set to, I believe, 12, and then in between each line is 1.5. And then I have about 100-ish pages, right there out of 99. And this is what I will show in the next clip with my binder. I've printed all of these out, and I'm beginning to edit this one now. And then after I have printed everything out, I will then put it into this binder. And in this binder, I have my first short story, Through the Woods, and then it just goes through all the different ones I have done, and then eventually I will read through them and make comments. If you can kind of see the margins are pretty big and there's a lot of spacing in between each line, that's so I can go through and mark it up, and then eventually I will transfer all of the comments I make on here onto the actual document, and then repeat this process maybe 2 to 3 times depending on how good I feel about each story.